Hi guys, my name is Dima. I'm an English tutor who helps people to pass Duolingo test, IELTS, TOEFL, SAT, and other beautiful, marvelous English tests which sometimes get on your nerves as I get it, yeah? Okay, it's some humor. In this practical video, let's write together an essay, Duolingo writing interview. By the way, this essay, the principles can be applied to IELTS, TOEFL as well, but in this video, the main objective is to show you that you can easily type within 5 minutes. You can easily type, let's say, 100 words or even more. The matter is that a lot of guys, they complain that they cannot produce more than, let's say, 70 words or something like that. Some of them, especially those who don't like to be very eloquent and abundant in their writing or speaking, they produce 50 or something. If you read guidelines by Duolingo administration, or let's call it yes, they explicitly state that you're welcome to produce a large answer, because the more you write, the easier it is to assess your English. You understand that if you produce 3 sentences, the grader has a more difficult time trying to understand your skills and everything. And the other instance is when you produce, let's say, 15 sentences. Of course, we remember that at any test of English, especially at Duolingo, where you have AI, artificial intelligence, mostly, let's say 80% or something, checking your masterpieces, but also they say humans are involved, of course, to monitor this process, especially writing, especially in speaking. You understand that a human, he or she has, let's say, maybe 2 minutes, maybe even less, to look at this masterpiece by a given candidate. So nobody is going to read your essay for half an hour and try to understand your logic, your mentality, and everything. From this point of view, to write extremely such a big amount is not a good idea either. On the other hand, I assure you that most probably you will not write an enormous amount, because you have 5 minutes, and most of us, while we start typing, we also focus additionally, and so I think you have a pure 4.5 minutes, something like this, sometimes 4 minutes, because you're thinking how to structure, what to write about. In this way you have 4 minutes, something like that. And in 4 minutes, to produce a great lot is not very possible. Once I remember I demonstrated to one of my students, I wrote something like 160, let's say 170 words. By the way, it was while I was commenting upon something, and so if I kept silent and was focused, maybe I would have produced even more. But you see, 170 words, it means that somebody can produce 200 words. Maybe 200 words is too much. Let's say if you produce 100 words, 110, 100, 120, it's a very good idea. It shows that you can write, you want to write, you have some enthusiasm, you are eager to write. Everything else depends upon your grammar, style, and everything. You understand, yes, lexical resource. So let's now type together. I just want to show you that you can produce 80 or 90 or 100 words. I have not prepared any answer to this question beforehand. And remember, please, that though I'm a tutor, I'm a non-native speaker of English all my life. So, I mean, I understand your problems, yes, and everything much, much better, I'm sure, that than a native speaker for whom English is, he hears it from his mom's first words or something like that, yeah? You and I, we develop our English skills during mostly adult years of our lives, so it's not so easy. And I'm going to demonstrate to you that I will personally now produce, I'm sure, 100 words or even more. By the way, thinking about it, discussing it along the way, and so on. Okay, let's take the prompt, yeah. So what's written here? What is a job that you believe is underpaid or overpaid? Provide reasons to support your opinion. So firstly, you have to spend some time and energy to understand the question. You need to be sure that you understand everything perfectly. A lot of guys, they read the first, let's say, sentence, and they understand it, and they are so happy that they understand it that they ignore basically this second part, or sometimes there are 3 or 4 parts, especially with those questions where there are 3 or 4 sub questions, let's say like that. They are happy with this, they start typing, and they totally forget about this tail, about the second part, which will lower your score, you understand, because you haven't answered all sub questions. In this case, we have only like one topic, and this classical provide reasons to support your opinion. Let's remember the classical structure, which is recommended in for most tests of English, any test, including TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo. It stems from maybe 7,000 years ago, so when Socrates, I mean not 7,000 years ago, but this tradition and logic of public speaking or writing creation, where you have introduction, body, and conclusion. Yeah? So it's very logical, it's beaten, it's boring, but it will yield you a normal score, I guess. In case of Duolingo, I'm sure you can get 100, 120 for this. What you need to get 150 or something for production in Duolingo, I don't know. Nobody knows. You should sound identically to an educated English speaker, yeah? But most of you don't need such a high score. You need 100, 110, 120. Maybe one guy out of 100 other guys, he has to submit his maybe 125 or more. It's a very rare occasion. So, if you stick to this classical structure, introduction, body, and conclusion, you will feel very good. Mostly it is recommended in your body to provide 3, in this case, reasons, yeah? In the reasons, not only reasons, there are some arguments or details, in our case, reasons. But, you know, given that we have 4 minutes, it's very difficult to put here normal 3 reasons and to support them with examples, and so it's very difficult. So if you provide 2 reasons, it's very nice. Don't worry. Okay, so let's type now. I will reset the timer. You don't see the timer now, but I see. I will have 5 minutes and I will type something. By the way, I cannot type very fast. Also, today I remembered that some buttons on my keyboard, they, let's say, glitch, so I will have an additional problem with that, but come on, I will correct something. So, I mean, okay, let's do it. And you also think, what would you write here? And you will see that if I, a non-native speaker, can produce so much, you also can produce it and get a normal score at Duolingo. Okay, so within 5 or 10 seconds now, I focus and decide what I will write about, yeah? By the way, about this task, a lot of guys, I think they make a mistake because they write about 2 jobs. For instance, an underpaid one and an overpaid. It may be a good idea, but you need more time, which you don't have, to describe those 2 jobs, to compare them, and so on. You see, you're explicitly asked about one job, either an underpaid or overpaid. Mostly people write about, if underpaid, teachers, for instance, yeah, you know, and overpaid they write about sports people or movie stars, those actors, something like that. And I think it's a good idea. You shouldn't recreate the bicycle, something like that. So Duolingo is not interested in your mentality. They're interested in the level of your English. So in this case, let me write about, I'm a teacher myself, so let me write about teachers, that they are really underpaid. By the way, it's some statistics, so I think you will not hear anything new from me. Okay, I will reset the timer. I will make a small introduction, of course. Okay, in my opinion, I will discuss it with you later, whether you should write this or not. In my opinion, a teacher is one of the lowest, of the most low paid, I'm sorry, yes. Out there, though, as a lot of, let's say, philosophers, okay. Though, let's state, teachers provide the society with its future, let's say, creative components. The people who will add to the welfare of a given society. I have already used, yeah, of a given country. Okay, let it be. So you see, this is my introduction, yeah. And I'm going to speak about the reasons, maybe not why I think so, or maybe why I think so, like why teachers are paid so little, or why I think that they're paid so little. See, it's the difference. Okay, I believe the primary, oh, I'm sorry, reason for this economic incongruence nowadays is the low self-esteem of teachers, on, let's say, on the part of teachers, and their lack of understanding of, maybe, let's say, realizing the, okay, something classic, the importance of their role in the modern world. Yeah, okay, in the modern world. And I still have 2.5 minutes, you see. For some unknown reasons, teachers succumb, oh, I'm sorry, to their low compensation and do not require more. They agree to teach kids for a very modest okay, remuneration. So in this aspect, I'm sure that if teachers and tutors respected themselves more, the situation would change dramatically in their favor. And you see, I have less than 1 minute. The other outstanding reason is that the society feels comfortable at this low salary for teachers. Thus, it economizes resources which it distributes to other, often useless, okay, I don't think so, but I have to finish somehow, useless jobs, such as movie stars, or other types of actors. Okay, yeah, so let's have a look, my friends. So how much we have? 162, you see? Yeah, 162. Honestly, I was writing for a bit more than 5 minutes, like 5 minutes and maybe 10 or 15 seconds, but I've added some time for me because because I was commenting a bit, yeah? And so you see 162. Honestly speaking, I was planning to make a little conclusion here, but you see, yes, I overstretched this part. Also, of course, I tell you honestly that when you're commenting upon something, and just maybe I'm a bit excited now, so you produce not that which you are capable of producing, yeah? Of course, those structures and everything. When you sit down at Duolingo, nobody is distracting you. You have attuned, you have set your mind, like you have worked out a proper mindset for this. You will produce, you can produce even more and better than I have. Oh, remuneration. I'm sorry. I didn't see this. Yeah. So, but I'm sure that if, for instance, I have one or two such mistakes and this is remuneration, they will forgive me because they will clearly understand that it was a typo. It was not my mistake that I don't know how to spell remuneration. Economize the resources, distribute to other. You see again, something like R. I have lost it. But I think it's so I'm sure that for this essay they would give me a decent score. I don't say that 150 out of 160, but maybe 100, 120, something like that. I have clearly answered the question. The only thing is that I haven't produced a conclusion. But in this case, it's not IELTS or TOEFL or SAT. In this case, you can do well without any conclusion because you are short of time. They clearly understand it. You are not even obliged to keep like to this structure that I told you about, yeah, like introduction, body, and so on. You can get your 150 even like you write off the top of your head without any paragraphs. By the way, about paragraphs, I think you're welcome to do some paragraphs to make them because you see, it gives your reader an opportunity to see at once the structure, the skeleton of your essay, and it's very nice. Just place yourself, imagine yourself to be a grader, yeah, and you're sitting and looking at this masterpiece. If there are a lot of words, without any paragraphs, without any lines, just thrown here, scattered, so you have a hard time understanding what he wants to say and so on. So you will not have a big score because why should you do it? He makes your life more difficult. On the other hand, if you're looking at something, you clearly see the structure, you clearly see the sentences. Yeah, I didn't produce any examples, but judging by the experience of my students, how they write, even without those examples, you can get a very high score. By the way, here they don't ask us for an example, yeah? If they put it here, then, like provide examples, then of course it's a good idea to provide examples. The examples, you understand, you're welcome to create if you wish. Nobody's interested in your truth, remember I tell you. Okay guys, something like that. You see, I, a non-native speaker of English, who is now a bit excited, who cannot type very quickly, I have produced 160 words. It means that you can easily produce 110, 120 words for this and get a decent score. Remember about this. So if you need professional tutoring for Duolingo or any other test of English, please contact me. The link is in the description to this video. I'm sure I can be of some help to you because I have a huge experience in tutoring people for those tests of English for over 20 years. I know the psychology of a non-native speaker, how difficult it is for him or her to adapt, like to attune his mind to the frequency of those tests and what those graders expect from you and all that jazz. Okay guys, so I wish you success at Duolingo and all other tests. Feel good and see you in our next video.